Hi and welcome to another MoTeC webinar. My name's Pete Swinney and today's subject is how to change the setup in an M1 ECU when changing the fuel pressure. Today's example will be that of a jet ski, a Sea-Doo jet ski. Standard, they have a fuel pressure regulator in the fuel tank, and it's very common for customers to put an aftermarket external fuel pressure regulator on the ski and lift the fuel pressure. Some aftermarket fuel pressure regulators can also have a boost reference hose added to them. So that's a hose that goes from the inlet manifold to the fuel pressure regulator itself. This of course allows the fuel pressure to go up and down proportional to the boost going up and down. So if we set up the M1 correctly when we make a change like this, then there's no need to retune the software or to retune the fuel at all. So if the ski running standard was well tuned in the M1 and customer adds the regulator and lifts the fuel pressure, makes the changes correctly in the M1, the mixtures will be the same, the tune will remain the same, and the M1 will use the new default settings to calculate the correct amount of fuel to be delivered. So to do this, we'll just pop across to the M1 software itself. So this is M1 Tune, the software we're looking at here. You can see we've got a Sea-Doo package open and it's connected to, it's actually a simulator right next to me. Now what we're going to adjust here is the fuel pressure sensor default. So we're assuming that the ski doesn't have a fuel pressure sensor and it's simply running in default, or the fuel pressure sensor is using its default value. If it is running a fuel pressure sensor, well, the sensor itself will read the new fuel pressure and everything will be okay. But if the sensor ever fails, wire falls off, we need the default value to be correct so that the ECU will still calculate the right amount of fuel. So the best way to find the parameter itself is to actually go to the All Calibrate worksheet. And it's actually already there, but if we actually clear the search bar, we'll see that there is lots and lots of different options to choose from, many channels in the M1 to adjust. So the best way to find it is to actually start typing the words of the parameter that you're after. So it's fuel, we only need the first few letters, pressure, default. So in this case here we can see we've found, and if we put the F on we'll get rid of that delay. There it is. Fuel pressure sensor default. Currently it's set to the standard 4 bar and the client has decided to run the new fuel pressure at 5 bar. Now if you want to work in PSI you can do that just by right clicking on the parameter there, going down to active item, down to properties, and you can change that from bar to PSI. Go OK. So that's 58 PSI. And now we might want to run, let's say 70 PSI. We've adjusted the fuel pressure regulator to. We can just type in 70 here and press enter. It's as simple as that. You'll see a little note that there's a little diamond that comes up. So what that means is that there's been a change and you really need to save that change. The ECU will use the new parameter or any change you make instantly if you're connected, which we are. But in order for you to keep that change inside the ECU and not lose it when you disconnect, you need to press the save button. So Control S is the shortcut and I suggest everyone learn that. Right, it says that there's the save changed and the job's done. Now in this case the customer's also decided to connect the boost reference hose up. So we need to check that that setting is correct for this particular setup. And we can go to fuel manifold fuel pressure reference. In this case the fuel pressure regulator reference is ambient and we're going to change that to inlet manifold pressure, and again we need to see that we've got a change. You can make quite a few changes here, but we should always try and save on a regular basis. Actually save up here, go file, save, and do it that way. If you've made a major change you might like to save as, so that will save to a new comment up here. Alright, so that's as simple as that. Now when you go and run the engine again, everything should, the tune will still be the same now that you've changed the setup in the M1. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening. There's lots of other M1 webinars on our website which you can access via obviously our website. You can get more information from the forum, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening.